Now, in Timor-Leste, they were trying to address the issue of domestic violence, which is a form of gender violence in itself. And the way in which they were trying to do so was to clearly, as a new nation, legislate for it. Why were they trying to legislate? Well, actually, because there were some international treaty obligations they had. For those of you that have heard of CEDAW, the Convention on Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, they were trying to meet those obligations. But what we must understand is, aside from just meeting those treaty obligations, we need to understand what's happening on the ground first, because the black letter of the law means nothing on the paper it's written if it's not applied to whom it should reach, i.e. the community. So in the context of Dili, or East Timor, for instance, yes, in the capital Dili, women are emancipated and they are strong advocates for the rights of women, but just 20, 30 kilometers out of Dili, that's not the case. Why is that not the case? It's not the case because over 90% of cases of gender violence in a country like Dili is dealt with through a traditional justice system. The access to justice to another level is not there because the mechanisms and structure is not there. The path is not there. So the way in which the law should develop, or the way in which we should address these issues in a post-conflict state, and I think this could apply to other post-conflict states aside from just Timor-Leste, is by engaging first with a system that already exists. Because by not acknowledging and engaging with a system that already exists, you're going to create two systems. And if you come from a country like East Timor, where there's a huge disparity from those living in the capital, Dili, to those living just on the outskirts of that capital, you'll find that there will always be these two parallels of systems existing. And as a result, the emerging laws which have good intentions, like the domestic violence law to deal with gender violence, will not in itself have any impact in those outer districts. So in which case, in terms of when we were running that project, we found that we needed to engage with the traditional justice system to understand how it works, and then also to socialize the new law that was coming into being, because only then would they understand what it is we were trying to achieve, rather than going in there and saying, this is the law that's coming into place, you need to apply it. Because clearly they have a system which they have been used to. And what we must understand with these post-conflict states is that the system is based on culture. And we must understand that for a very long time, while war was going on pre and post, all they had was their culture. So it's not, I think, ethical, if you want to put it in that way, to sort of go into these communities and say, you need to impose these new provisions pursuant to some act in order to guard against gender violence. Instead of which we need to understand and educate them first about why we are doing this.